So welcome to the first. The clocks have changed. Is this summer? Is it spring? Not very sure. Anyway, the trials and tribulations, the Inazuma diaries, I might call them. And yesterday I switched out the front HEL brake line. So got rid of the old rubber one. As the first videos that I've done, I've not put them out yet. I've changed the fork oil, the dust seals and the front mudguard on the bike, and it's looking brilliant. But the oil was filthy, so I think it's a good call to actually get rid of the rubber brake lines. There's the rain starting. The rubber brake lines as well. So I did the HEL one. I followed so many people's videos. Del Boy, the English guy, there was another one as well. And I am a qualified bicycle mechanic, believe it or not. I've done the car caliper replacement on my mum's Hyundai i10, my own cars, over the years. And working in an outdoor centre with 60 mountain bikes to contend with, I've bled numerous bike brakes, push bike brakes. So the principles are all there. They're all there. But yesterday, that front brake, what an utter pig. I reverse bleeded it. I drained everything out. I cleaned the caliper. I cleaned around the pistons, reset them, created a spacer block out of a piece of wood and an old steel wrench. You can see part of the wrench up there to actually make the spacer fit in between the void when the pistons are pushed back, so you're not bleeding them with partially worn brakes. That's the idea. Bit of a waste of time, really, if I admit it. But I reverse bled it. I used one of these solo kits from Oxford, this thing here, and my god, they were just full of air. So it was a guy, Badass Engineering, on YouTube. If you look up his video, and it's all about pinging. It's all about the ping, getting the ping. So I managed to get the air out of them with the setting sun, with darkness approaching last night. It was an absolute nightmare. So today I've got the other one to do. I've got the back brake to do. So, looking at this, what trials and tribulations have I got today? I've taken out one of the caliper pins. Okay, I want to clean the slider. I want to get that done, the pin there, but I can't get access into that because of the exhaust. I really don't want to take the exhaust off, so I'm trying to figure out ways. I've detached that. It's not made any difference. It's hinging on there. Okay. Now, to get into there is what I assume is a 14mm bolt. On the other side, I wanted to actually remove the caliper, give it the same cleanup treatment, sort it out, reassemble it all. But I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to do this because I don't want to take the exhaust off the pipe. So to take the exhaust off would be there and there. It's not a massive job, not a big deal. Because then, in that respect, I could take off the hanger with the foot pegs. Because at this moment in time, I cannot get the angle that's at. I've tried it with the rod getting down the back of there. There's just no way that's going to go in, and it's not the hose that's fouling it. It is the actual angle. It's this thing, the hanger. So it'd be a case of stripping that off. Now at the moment, my GIS screwdriver that I've got, that I bought for general purpose use, is way too big for that. So that's going to have to come off at the holder, be bent around and at least cracked open. Maybe we'll get away with a small Phillips style posi one in the meantime, just to put things back together. So I've got that to contend with. The biggest problem as well, being infinitely silly engineered, I'll try and take my head torch off. If you look in there, now I can't see for the life of me in there, but the brake hose runs through what looks to be a sealed unit. I'm going to have a little look at that. It looks a bit plasticky. Because ideally I thought if I could get the caliper off the bike, the master cylinder unscrews from there and there, detach it from the brake, and bring the whole lot indoors and just hang it up from a bench vise that I've got, and then be able to do the whole lot in a oneer. Which brings me to the next issue of bleeding. I watched a video just there, some Canadian dude, and it was pretty hysterical. He was actually sort of going on about the wonders of reverse bleeding, and he just, at the end of it, it was just a ton of air in it, and he had to actually do a proper bleed on it. So what I was planning to do this time was, when I reverse bled it yesterday, I think that the air gets into the system through the threads, both directions. I don't think it really matters whether you suck fluid down from the master cylinder through the line, it introduces air, or if you push it back up. I think that's what happened with me yesterday. I pushed that into there, and with probably a whole stream of bubbles that got stuck in the line. So what I was planning to do today, I've got this old tub of really thick multi-purpose grease, is drain the system down completely. That's where I wanted the caliper off. I wanted to get everything out of it, flush the caliper out. Rain landed on my camera now. And grease around the nipple, and then either or fill it from this direction or top it up from there and suck it from this direction to make sure that no air gets in and around this system. I prefer to draw it through, I think, because then I know that what's going down through the reservoir into the master cylinder can only be neat brake fluid. You're starting from the top, working your way down. So I've got these to contend with. I can't get access at this moment. A 12mm bolt to change the hose, 12mm bolt there, that's okay. A 14, I had to go sketching around in Laura's mum's old toolkit. Finally found a bunch of old bucksheet, really poor quality tools, but should do the job. But that prevents me from using the torque wrench. So I'm going to have a think about this. Do I take the pipe and the hanger off just to get the good proper access that I need? It might make more sense, because right now I'm working around the exhaust and it's actually, I can see it'll probably start doing my head in a wee bit. And this rain would fucking piss off. At least it's not snowing today. I mean, it was yesterday. So I will report back. Trials and tribulations, but things that I've got to think about. Because yesterday, this is the problem again. You've got a brake line that runs along and then it runs up and then down to the master cylinder. So you've got a loop that's above it. There isn't a continuous drop, which is why I thought, get it off the bike. And I can arrange that in the house. I can do things. I can actually take things, whatever, to various things in my man cave and enable this to be a continuous top to bottom line. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, unless that is a plastic clip, but I need to really investigate that, and I don't want to end up bursting something in there. Let's have another look. Let's have another look. It doesn't look too... I'll have to have a finger around in there. Right, I'll be back. So this is just a part 2. Part 2. The brake line is on. Took a bit of, oh god, fannying about this. Yep, got the caliper out. Checked the pistons are all nice and clean around the edges, retracted them, put a tiny wee bit of copper slip, cleaned up the pin with some fine steel wool, extra fine stuff the missus has for her woodworking malarkey. Bit of palaver in amongst here, getting this routed, getting that actually back into place. I had to actually drop the master cylinder off to get it just even started. God, to work in there is just, with the bend on the cable and the amount of tension and pressure that it puts, almost impossible. So I'm in place. I've got the bleed screw loosened, but I am going to attempt this. I'm going to put some of this class grease on here. I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and do all this at once, so I will report back, hopefully on a part 3. I'm not holding out too much for it, to be brutally honest. I think my biggest fear is that, you know, with this rise and fall, it's the same length. There's a kink up and down, and then it runs along the swing arm. That's just an air trap. But I am going to reverse bleed it, because at least I know then that liquid is in there, because otherwise this is just a faff. I like to be able to drip feed that out. It might never happen. It might never go over the hill, so to speak. So I'm going to force it through, so at least when I know it's in there, I know there's some in there. And if there's some in there, it might help drag some more in there, and it might be a case of just a bit of time and a wee bit of fettling with the lever might ping the bubbles out like it did on the front end. But I'm going to grease that up now. I've actually put a hanger on today, so that I can take a break, which is actually, I didn't do that the other day. That became a bit of a faff because that doesn't sit too well on the end there. I might see if I can cable tie it on today. Anyway, I'll report back, part 3, once all the cursing, swearing and screaming's over. Well, here I am, part 3, reporting back as I said I would. So, I opted to put fluid in the actual reservoir. This fucking rain would stay out here. It's almost coming into the fucking... I don't want it splashing in the reservoir. So, greased up around the nipple, as you can see. That's quite a job. Just the awkwardness of the exhaust, the shape, all the profile of the caliper around it. Just a bit of a ball ache to get in there, but greased up well all around it. And then decided put some fluid in there. It seemed to fill the rubber pipe down to the master cylinder, but not really do a lot more. Bubbles were coming up, and I just left it. So I then locked it off, and as I'll try and balance this without destroying my camera, as it goes around, the brakes are solid. So that's like totally compared to yesterday. So that I feel for anybody doing rear brakes where there's a tortuous, I mean, I know it'll be different for people with ABS and modern systems. This is a single non-ABS system, but that is the weak point. I think that actual bleed nipple, that's where the air gets in and out both directions. I can't help thinking that if I'd done the front, if I'd greased it up and pushed the air, or just draw, I think drawing it through was the best thing, because when you're drawing through, you're pulling out all the air and the liquid's displacing it. Pushing it in, I'm never quite sure. So I'm pretty happy with that already. I'm just going to have to top this off, put the screws back in, and tighten up the bracket because it's loose. You have to get that. I don't have a short JIS screwdriver. But fuck yeah, chuffed to bits. So, top tip for the future, when you're going to do it, fill that a little bit from the top, attach the dry syringe to there, draw it down, hang it, and if you need to top it up, which I haven't done, that's all it's taken. If you need to top it up, that's how to do it. Stop with the syringe, hang it on here, put a little bit more in there, and then continue. If needs be, this is what I've done with with bicycles before. You can then push as long as you've not got any air in the line and the syringe is up, you can push the fluid back to and from, suck it, push it, suck it, push it. And that can help at times as well. So, the grease is the word, eh? Grease is the word!